and then I spend 100% of the time writing grants. Yeah, writing a grant because I have a deadline. I want to do the best job possible. I want to get the money. You know? Some other times, you know, I'm traveling to be on some committees, or I have to review grants of other people that actually they ask me to review whether they are good enough, whether they should be funded. Yeah, so then I spend a lot of time doing those things. Yeah, so it's always juggling, and so I usually finish my day between 7 and 9. I go home. It depends who's taking care. My wife actually also a scientist, so we have to actually juggle that together. So the days that I go, right now actually our son stays home by himself, so that's great because that means we don't have to go. I mean, exaggerate. But yes, but before we had to actually, one of us had to be home early, so the other was coming late, and you know, family life is about 1-2 hours, and then we go back to our own computers and we do work until we go to sleep, and then we start over again. Yeah, so that's, but you have to like this job, yeah, because that's one of the things you have to remember. Yeah, means if you don't like this job, you don't like what you're doing, you cannot do those hours. Yeah, means we more or less work all the time. But it's because, like, you know, really liking solving crossword puzzles. Yeah, so really like to solve crossword puzzles. That's what you're doing. You're solving all the time. Where you can put your hand on your doing.
You also have to be aware of the fact that at some points in your career, even if you choose something that you think you're really in love with, there are going to be some times that you absolutely hate it. And if you do grad school, you know, especially that last year, you're going to be sitting there and you're going to be thinking, why did I pursue this? Who told me to do this with my life? And you're going to be depressed and frustrated and you're going to hate it. But you have to think of, you know, that it's going to pay off at some point, you know.
And you have to have a really thick skin when you do science. I don't know how it is. Also, I'm sure with the medical profession, I mean, you know, you see patients that actually do not get better, and which I'm sure is simply frustrating. The same with science, you know. Actually, the number of times we succeed is much, much more than the number of times we don't succeed. Yeah, and you have to grow a thick skin. Yeah, it's okay. I didn't get this grant, you know. It's okay. I got a better. You know, I can do better. I can improve. I can. You know, I just turn around and try again. And, you know, that's one of the things I teach my graduate students, you know. Well, if you didn't get this fellowship and now you think it's a disaster that happened, no, it's not. I promise you will not get another 10 fellowships, yeah? And you have to have thick skin to survive it, turn around, try again, and at some point you will succeed. That will be great. All those few times you succeed actually make up for all the times you fail. That's great.
And if you do it and you find you hate it, you also have to remember nobody's forcing you to be there. You're there because you want to. And if it's not the right path for you, it's okay to say, you know, maybe this was not the right path. It wasn't a mistake because you learned new things. You had a new experience that will be useful for you. You don't know when, but it will come in handy. And you can do something else and think, okay, I tried that path, it didn't work for me. So I'm trying something else. And it's okay. Whatever works for you.
You know, sometimes people that change their life paths are the most interesting and the most driven people. You know, for example, we get these applications to graduate school. You know, people who finish undergraduate went to work for a company, and then after a few years they said, you know, it's too boring working for these companies. You know, I don't like my job. I want to learn more. They're coming to grad school. You know, they're a bit older than an average grad student, but they're so driven because they know why they are there, and you know, they're great. You know, that's fun. You may change paths.
Some of the students I have at EMU, they're older people. I have people that are in their 40s and their 50s, and I really like these students. I like the younger ones as well. But I really like the people that have had a different experience and that, you know, have had a chance to figure out what it is they really want to do. Because then, you know, you go to class and you feel like you really are there to learn. You're not driven by the grade anymore. Like, to a large extent, you are driven by the grade. You're always driven by the grade. Right? But, you know, you are also driven by the fact that you just want to learn. You are in that class because it's interesting for you, because it means something to you, and that will help you get the most out of it.
What's one thing each of you wish you knew as an undergrad that you know now about, like, pertaining to your job? I mean, for example, if I
For me, I think if I were to do it again, I'd actually probably do a different major. I'd probably do something like biomedical engineering. Because I look at my classmates who have had these diverse life experiences and how they bring those different experiences into medicine. So my classmate I told you guys about, the guy who was a drama professor before, he has such a good knowledge of how people work and how to interact with people through his work as a teacher, but also just with theater. I think it's a huge emphasis in that. And he can bring that into medicine and how he interacts with his patients in the future. And for me, doing my major was a great preparation, but there's a lot of science that's similar to what I'm doing now in med school. And I think it'd be very cool to have a different mindset, a different way of approaching a problem, and bring that into my work now. So I think that, not necessarily doing exactly what you're going to do in the future, but doing something that's related that you can then apply and kind of use to your benefit with what you eventually want to do.
I would have done a lot more research on what labs I was going to. I mean, I did a lot of rotations and so on, and I ended up I was lucky, I ended up in a really cool lab with a young PI who was very driven and wanted to, see me advance because that was helping his career advance as well. So we published a lot, it was great. But then when I went to my first postdoc, I didn't do my background research that well. I was just really excited to be called by a really famous lab. It was one of the 2 labs, famous, and it's supposed to be great, and it's the equivalent of the MIT in the US, and it looks great on your CV. And I went there and people asked questions, and I didn't think of the fact that, you can go out for lunch with somebody, or you can go out, and ask somebody from the lab, say if they want to go out for a drink or something, and, so that you can get a feel of what that lab is really like. And I ended up in a very tough spot in a lab that was like a jungle, So I think if I would have, and I felt like I had to take this position, right? Because I was pressed for money, I was pressed for time, and then I thought, okay, I have all these great opportunities, but this is the perfect one because it's only 2 hours away from where I live. They speak the same language. Anyway, that's another longer story, which turned out not to be the case. But anyway, yeah, I didn't make sure that it was a good fit for me, so I ended up being miserable for a year. And I think I could have avoided it if I would have taken my time to really think about whether this was the right fit or not.
I think I didn't realize the business aspect of running a lab and being a scientist. I mean, the fact that actually I cannot do exactly what I want because I have to bring money. So I'm actually running a small business because I have employees, those are my students, which actually they need to eat, which is pretty useful probably. So that means I have to pay them, so I have to provide money. And so I'm running a small company in a sense, which has to close the budget, which and I didn't go into science to run a company. I thought that I can close the door and do research and no one's going to bother me. Well, it's not working.
You could choose a research investigator track, and you don't have to be a PI, and then you can just do research. But if you're independent and you love what you do and you love generating the ideas, you have to become a PI.
Okay, everyone. Well, that's all we have time for today. Thank you so much for your time.